Thank you. Is what you hear and what you see of love or fear? Is what you hear and what you see of love or fear? Fear is the voice of the devil, of evil, of darkness, of suffering. Love is the voice of strength, encouragement, compassion, kindness. If you listen carefully to what is presented to you, you can tell very easily if it is of love or if it is of fear. Many of you are calling to me and the Father and many others for guidance and assistance at this time. But let me say to you that within you, that same Father lives. In the hearts of all of you, even those of what you call darkness, even they have the Father within them. They will be forced to come home eventually. But let it be said that you are now in a position and of such a timing that learning to listen to the voice of love, to become the voice of love, to be the acts of love, to be the words of love, or the acts and words of fear. There are only these two choices for each and every living soul upon this planet. You have only the choice to live from love or to live from fear. And you always have that choice. You will always have that choice. So even if you stray far down the path of fear, you may always return home to love. The functions of fear and the functions of love are very different in how they will enable you or disable you in your expression and experience of this world. It's really important that you understand that time is a commodity that you do not have a great deal of in this world, unless you begin to change the function of your actions, your thoughts, and your behaviors. There is no hill nor mountain that will protect you from the effects of your own causing. There's no space, place, or time that you can go to that you will not reap the rewards that you have sown upon this world. Whether those results and effects are upon yourself or others, it does not matter. If you have caused others to suffer, then you shall reap the benefit of that cause equally. If you've caused others to be of good spirit and good life, then you will reap the benefit of that reward as well. I'm going to be honest because there's so this understanding of the voice of Satan being that of fear. That's what its voice is. It tells you to be afraid there's not enough. You can't do it. That you have to watch. This idea that he's talking about, that there is more than enough land in the world for every man, woman, and child to be fulfilled and happy. And if you want to get evidence of that, get into a car and drive. Go for a drive in the countryside and look at the hours and hours and hours and days you can drive through the countryside and see almost nothing but forest and trees and grasses. Even the deserts have things growing in them. And technology is available now to extract water from even the driest of air. So there's no excuse and there's no need for greed anymore. But as long as these things are perpetuated, yes, I will. He also wants to talk about deceptiveness, that the deceptiveness of those who would tell you that they would aspire to have your best interest, but steal from your home in the middle of the night. He's speaking about taxation. He's speaking about rules and regulations that governments perpetuate and propagate as mechanisms to protect themselves from being caught with their hands in the cookie jar. He says they've made rules in such a fashion as to make what they do acceptable to you, that what your leaders do to you, they've created laws and rules with the guise that these things are now acceptable, that they can take from you what they wish to take from you, make you do or be what they wish you to do or be. And they have created rules to make this acceptable to you so that you will simply turn a blind eye to what they're actually doing. He says you must open your eyes. And as long as you continue to honor the deception, you will continue to suffer. And your suffering will increase as the deception must increase for them to hide what they are doing to you. But if someone came into your home and stole your child or stole your money or stole your clothes, if that were to happen, you would do something about it, wouldn't you? But they have created rule and law to give you the illusion that somehow that what they're doing to you is okay. That they seem to think that they have divine authority over your bodies and minds now. None but God have divine authority over your mind. And only the devil would think that he has authority over your mind and body and tell you and convince you to believe that that is true. But I say to you quite simply that when you begin to understand that the functions, actions, and words of love are very different than the functions, actions, and words of evil, it can become fairly easy for you. That much of what you believe was given to you, not by the divine, but by they who would enslave you much further. Religions are contrivances of men. Spirituality, the function of the divine. The contrivances of men are often based in fear. The contrivances of the divine are often based in love. Understand the distinction. And darkness has convinced many to believe that there are some of you that are less than others, and others more deserving than others. It's by your effort and your love that you will earn your reward. By your effort and your love will you earn your reward. Not by how much you have or do not have. That is not a demonstration of love, of necessity. But you will reap the reward of your love, and you will reap the reward of your fear, whichever you will choose to align yourself with. He says it can't be made any simpler than that. You have only two choices in any moment, any minute, any hour of any day of your life: to choose love or to choose fear. To allow fear into your mind or to close the door to that fear. To reject fear and accept love, or to reject love and accept fear. It is this simple. And you are now individually and collectively in the hour of choosing what master you shall serve. Shall you serve love or fear? Each will reap a very different reward for each and every one of you. It is important you understand that. The function, actions, and words of love are very different than the functions, actions, and words of love. Many of you find yourself confused in your choosing, not because you are confused, but simply because you've been given information which is false and told to believe it is true. Many of you have been given information and told to believe that it is true, but it is false. They are running out of space. Have you noticed? It's getting very difficult for them to hide their lies now, isn't it? They tell you that something will heal your body, and it harms so many of you. Tens of millions of souls have come back unto the Father because of their ways. Tens of millions of souls have come back to the Father because of their harmful ways. But do not believe that that which is true is false, and that which is false is true, for they continue to try and convince you to believe so. The function of war will never be peace. The function of war will never be peace. Do not let them convince you that you must fight to establish peace in your world. It's quite the opposite of that. They played this game for many, many, many civilizations. The same ones, the same dance, and here you are again. He's saying that there are many angels that are now appearing to people awakening all over the world, that are beginning to hear the voice of the divine, the voice of love, and beginning to recognize a lot of what's in your own mind isn't even yours. And every one of us has to go through that process. I certainly had to go through that process of looking into your mind and questioning, where do your thoughts come from? Where do your beliefs come from? Who gave them to you? Who's giving you beliefs right now? And how do you know if they're true or false? You're going to have to learn to make that distinction. He says that it becomes easier to make that distinction. It becomes easier to make that distinction when you begin to understand that there are only two to choose from, love or fear. And you can know in your heart which is which. You can know in your heart which is which. Every one of you can know this. Every one of you can know this. Every one of you can know this. We'll get to some questions in a few moments. Yes. He says it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you choose love. You can choose it now or you can choose it later. He said the world can be made again. The world can be made again if you do not understand how to align yourself to love. The world can be made again. You know, he showed me this picture of an Etch-a-Sketch. He said, it's like this. You know, if things get really out of control and humans haven't learned properly, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know if you remember an Etch-a-Sketch. It was a little device that was around when I was a kid. You could take this two little knobs and twist these little knobs that would make these patterns and designs on the screen. And then whenever you wanted to reset the whole screen, you just shake it. And he's saying that the world can be made new again. It's where a lot of people are coming up with this conception of a new earth, because a new earth is in the making. But that new earth can come about as a function of our love, or it can come about as a function of our fear. And we are all participating. He says nobody's exempt. Not one of us is exempt. Not one single soul, not kings, nor queens, nor man upon the street. Each and every one of you participate in the Father's house. Each of you plays a role in this place, this space, this time. You cannot ignore nor deny this reality. And once you understand that the function of love is the most effective and most beauteous way to create, then surely what else would you choose? So I want to talk a bit more about mediumship too. Like, it's a skill that needs to be developed. Most people that come start hearing voices. It happens to a lot of people. They start to hear voices. They start to see angels. They start to see different dimensional beings. And it's like anything else you've learned to do. You need to learn how to hear, how to see, not just with your physical eyes. He tells us this all the time. People have eyes, but they don't see. People have ears, but they don't hear. He's talking about your inner spiritual ear and your inner spiritual eye. And he says just with the physical eyes and the physical senses, there's polarity. He says most people make choices based on sensation and not based on love and reason. Good reason, he calls it. Good reason. Love and good reason. Most people are bound, he calls it, by the gluttony of the senses. He says so many people get so excited by the feeling of the taste and the smells that they overindulge in those things, and they forget what they end up doing to themselves is end up eating things and drinking things and getting into sensations of things that cause them to get diseases, cause them to get sick, cause them to become grossly distorted. Their bodies become grossly distorted by not eating and consuming things properly. So sensation, he says, is the biggest obstacle that humans have to come over is overcoming the constant temptation of the senses. And that's what he says, he says the dark ones use that quite frequently. They use the excitation of your senses. You know, this tastes good, that smells good, this feels good. They use the excitation of the senses to keep you bound to the flesh instead of the spirit. He says you want to get to a place where you become bound to the spirit, and then your flesh will serve the spirit, and you will not be bound by it. He says that he taught these things to his disciples in the biblical times that many of you know of, the biblical times. You know, he was known as Jesus in Christian mythology. In Muslim philosophy, he's known as Isa. There's different names that different cultures gave him as he traveled around the world back then. And he taught that proper eating was essential. How you treat your body as a house of God, a house of the divine, or do you treat it like a mud pit where pigs roll around? And do you treat it like that? How do you treat your body? He says you need to make your temple into the divine instrument that it's naturally designed to be. But he wanted to be very clear that the message was very simple today. Understand that there are only two voices that you will hear. One is the voice of love, and one is the voice of fear. If you continue to listen to the voice of fear and believe it to be the truth, then you will be bound by the effects of that truth. As equally as if you believe in the words of love, then you will be bound by the effects of that cause as well. There are only these two masters, love or fear. You cannot serve both. You can serve one or the other. The function of the day of judgment is not set to be a specific day and time. It is here and now. Do you serve love or do you serve fear? Whom do you serve? Whom do you serve? The judgment is here. It is now. It is happening already. And you can see outpictured in the world those who have chosen fear and those who are choosing love. It becomes very easy to see, to know. He will answer questions if people have questions for him directly. Question from Lisa. My cousin is visiting me lately in my dreams. She passed on almost 17 years ago. What message does she have for me? Thank you for that super chat, Lisa. What she's saying to me is she's been trying to get you to understand the images that you're receiving in the dream are the messages she wants you to understand. There are things that she was doing that she suggests you not do. There are things that you are doing that she suggests you not do. There's things that you need to change that could lead you down a similar path. She's saying to tell you to evaluate your spirit and your body. Evaluate this. She's saying to let the pronouncement of love be upon every morsel you eat, everything that you drink, every place that you go. I don't know why, but she's showing me this lasso, like she's swinging a lasso around in circles. Why is that? She's saying something about a good catch. There's a good catch coming. Be prepared. Wow. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. How can I tell if I saw an apparition or peeked into another dimension? Sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes they're the same thing. But if you want to know, because sometimes you can peek into other dimensions, simple ways of beginning to peek into other dimensions is close your eyes and bring your awareness into a place in the very middle of your head. And just keep your awareness centered in the middle of your head. Put aside all thought, all distraction, and ask to be shown. Another way to see into other dimensions, when you're lying in bed at night, if the room, get the room as dark, your room as dark as you can possibly get, and look up to the ceiling. But don't try to see anything. Just watch. Just observe. But keep your attention on the ceiling, not in what's in your mind. So that way you don't get what's in your mind, you perceive what's actually being received by the sight center of the brain, of the eyes. So look up at the ceiling in the darkness of your room. You can see into other dimensions. I've seen that many times. You can actually see other fields, other places, other spaces, other times. But for you, if I tune into you specifically, the nature of your, you're opening up, like so many people are awakening right now. And what is awakening? It means you're becoming aware that there's more to life than what's going on in this physical world, but that what's going on in this other life affects the physical world. What we think, feel, and believe is affecting this world. Yes. So I'm getting, you've got two guardians. One is a nature spirit. One is a nature spirit, and one is a guardian angel. Both are from different dimensional realms and are experienced differently. Yes, the guardian angel is coming from another dimension. What you're calling an apparition is the nature spirit. Apparition is the nature spirit. So you want to connect to them both. They both have useful information. The nature spirit will tell you how to rebalance your energy in nature, how to rebalance your energy in nature. And your guardian angel, they're basically saying to you, it's really, really important that you begin to become more patient and gentle in your ways. They want you to become more patient and gentle in your ways. Wow, it's really cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we got about another 25, 26 minutes left together today. I also want to announce, for those of you that are on TikTok, I'm being guided to on Thursday and Tuesday evenings to join and come live on TikTok for a period of time. So for those of you that are on my TikTok channel, that will be approximately 7 p.m. Eastern. Will it be Eastern? No, okay, it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays beginning next week. And that's going to be for TikTok exclusively. I will continue to do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday show. The reason I've been given as to why I need to do this is that this ascension process is happening faster and faster. So more information, more frequencies of energy need to be transmitted out. And you hear these physical words coming out of this body, but these aren't just physical words that your brain's interpreting into the meaning that it interprets them. And there are also vibrations and frequencies contained within every word that is going to affect each individual in a unique and distinct way. Yeah, very exciting time. So I'll look forward to seeing you guys on TikTok on Tuesdays and Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. starting next week. Should I buy a treadmill or use the older one we have? Use the one that you have. Get joy from it. Get joy from it. Joy from it. It's not for the treadmill that you do this. It is for the glory of your well-being. You're in the process of elevating your body's energy up. It does not matter the device that you use, but that you do so is more important than the device that you use. If you choose to honor and cherish the life in your body, there will be very specific things that will do that. And it's not the mechanism that's important. It is the fact that you do it that is. So whether you choose this and this is up to you. You may choose both if you like. You are free to do that. But the function of what its purpose is more important than what the vehicle that you're using is. He says he's delighted in the idea that you're going to start honoring, and he says it's a form of worship. When you start to love and take care of your body, he says that is a form of worshiping God. When you begin to love and honor and take care of your body, that's a form of worshiping the divine within you. If you want to use that word instead of God, because a lot of people have negative connotations to the word God. But the divine, if we want to use that term, the divine in you, when you take care of your body, you take care of your mind, you're literally worshiping or honoring the divine within you. Worship was not about getting on your hands and knees and bending over to somebody. That's not worship. That's subservience. Worship is when you honor, you cherish, you elevate. Worship is like bringing something to its best expression of itself. So remember that about your body, to worship your body in that way. It's very beautiful. I'm so glad to hear you're doing that. It's wonderful. Anne is asking, what's causing my overeating issue? I'm being told to tell you chemical toxicity. You have chemicals in your body that are tricking your body into desiring more of those things. You're being tricked by chemistry to eat more of these things. It is not of your own choosing, but the manipulation of your body by this chemistry that's been placed in the foods that you've been eating. It would be very wise for you to find foods that are not so tampered with, as you will find in the world that the contrivances of the dark ones, what you call evil, is of such obviousness now that it is using every mechanism it can to subjugate you to the flesh and its compulsions and impulses. There is great effort to keep you trapped into believing that the suffering of your body is what you must endure, but your body is a divine temple. Your body is a divine temple that you may honor and cherish and love fully and completely. There is no error in your body. There is nothing wrong with you. You simply have been manipulated into consuming things that have chemically manipulated you into eating these things again and again, as so many millions of you have been so manipulated without even realizing it. You believe that the sensation of taste is necessarily good for you, or the sensation of smell or touch means that something is good for you. That is not always the case. Do not let yourself be manipulated by your senses. Do not let those that would manipulate you by your senses do so any longer. But there is nothing wrong with you, simply the manipulation of your chemistry by the substances you've been consuming. Find substances that do not possess this chemical. He says living healthy and live foods will be really good for you. Foods, nuts, seeds, fruits, foods that are living, good. Learn to grow your own food. If you've got a backyard, start growing your own food, right? Like people used to do. We become so dependent on governments and these multinational corporations. Yes, I know. It's the same. He said the same thing happened when he walked the earth 2,000 years ago, and the same thing happened when he walked the earth 600 years ago. The same thing happened. There was lots of corruption. Certain individuals seized power and manipulated and controlled people, used war, government, law as a means of controlling and manipulating people. He says the same thing's happening right now, but on the biggest scale it's ever happened since Atlantis, right? In Atlantis, the population of Atlantis was not just a city. Atlantis was a civilization, okay? It wasn't just a city. They found the city of Atlantis, but the concept of Atlantis was a whole nation of people. He said the same thing happened at Atlantis, where people were subjugated and manipulated by their senses. Because that's how they get you with your senses. Thank you, Anna. Why does Kim Y be mean or jealous of me? Because they're afraid. They believe their fear. Fear is a terrible thing, folks. It has its benefits from a physical perspective. If something's coming towards you like a car, then your fear is useful to make you jump out of the way. But fear is being used by darkness right now, by these dark beings on the planet. Fear is being used to manipulate people to say and do and be things that they would not naturally say and do and be. You would not naturally scream at people. None of you would naturally scream at people unless you were told to believe that those people are bad, what they're doing is wrong. Unless you're manipulated, right? So a lot of people are being manipulated, not even knowing it right now. And your friend, your person is in fear. They're in fear that they are not going to be loved, that you're somehow going to withdraw your love from them. They're in fear of that. And they must let go of their fear. You're not responsible for their fear. You are not responsible for their fear. But you can say to them, your fear is unfounded. Your reason for being afraid is not true. Your fear is not true. You have to tell them that. Your fear is not true. It's lying to you. Fear will lie to you. There was this cartoon a long time ago, I can't remember, was it Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck anyway, where it had a little angel. It was Daffy Duck, an angel on one shoulder with a little halo, and a devil with a pitchfork on the other shoulder. It literally is true. Fear and love are with us always. And in every single moment of our lives, we get to choose one or the other. In every decision you will ever make, every breath you'll ever take, every step you'll ever walk, you're either walking in love or you're walking in fear. Talking with love, talking with fear. Eating with love, eating with fear. Speaking with love, speaking with fear. Thinking in love, thinking in fear. There are only those two choices. That one statement in Christian mythology where they say, let not the left hand know what the right hand is doing, means you choose love and ignore fear. You can only choose one. You can only choose love or fear. That's it. Those are the only two choices on this world, between love or fear. And the spectrum of love and the spectrum of fear. Yeah, I know. It really gets easy. And that's every single master teaches this. Love or fear. That's your choices. Hi, guys. Good to see you. Thank you for that. I appreciate the badges. I appreciate the gifts. Thank you so much. Why does the male body seem to be the patriarchal image when females give birth? Why does the male body seem to be the patriarchal energy image when females give birth? Well, the most obvious answer to that is when a female is giving birth, she needs to be protected. She's vulnerable. Women with young children are vulnerable. They need a protector. That's what man's job is to do, is to protect and honor and cherish women and children, to protect, honor, and cherish women and children. You think God would put women here to fend for themselves with little babies? It wouldn't work any other way. The fact that a patriarchal figure, whether it's male or female, matriarchs or patriarchs, we are all faced with the same choice. You get to choose, are you going to be a patriarch of love or a patriarch of fear? Are you going to be a matriarch of love or a matriarch of fear? Which are you going to be? You're going to choose love or fear. It comes down to that choice. Fear is the voice of evil. Love is the voice of God, right? It's that simple, right? So is the man a loving man? Is the woman a loving woman? It's that simple. Because you cannot serve both. You can only be one or the other. But that's the reason why. Men need to be that, because women are vulnerable when they have children. Am I doing a personal reading? Yeah, if you want to have a personal reading with me, go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can book a reading with me one-on-one, half-hour or 1 hour readings. You can go there and book a reading. Choose a date and time from my calendar that's there. Hopefully you'll find a date and time that is available for you. Or you can likewise sign up for a one-on-one masterclass on awakening and learn to connect with your guides and angels and get the reconnect to the spirit within you that has all answers. There's something in your consciousness, in your body right now, that knows everything. It knows how to build hearts, kidneys, livers. It knows how to make fingers and eyes. There's an intelligence inside you. It's inside you. That's why Master Jesus says all the time, the kingdom of the divine is within you. Or if you want to use the mythological term, the kingdom of God is within you. And it's all knowing, it's all powerful, and it's everywhere present. And there's some resolvable conflicts in that we can get to, and you can learn to understand that. Well, how can there be evil if God is everywhere present? Because there's a function called free will, right? That lets you choose if you want to do good or not do good. If you want to be greedy or not be greedy, you get to choose. But yeah, that's very cool. So Ian's asking, I wonder if the devil is real or a metaphor for man's ego. That's a great postulation. Master Jesus is saying man's ego. And you can define man's ego as that part of your being which is governed by the senses, unregulated. That the pleasure of your senses what you feel tastes good and smells good and feels good to you, that you indulge in those far too much. This becomes the ego, the overindulgence in the senses governing your thoughts and your actions. So if something looks good to you, you think you have the right to go and take it from another. Or something tastes good, you have the right to eat as much of it as you want. Or that because you want to feel good, you have the right to go and have sex with whomever you want. You must understand the distinction between the ego's construct, which is allowing your body to subjugate you to its will, when the body, in fact, is designed by nature to be subjective to your will. You're not designed to be the body's servant. The body is designed to be your servant. Let the servants let the servants honor the master, not the other way around. Great consideration, Ian. Thank you. Yes. Any message from your mother? Well, I'm getting pictures of hearts for starters, so it's communication of love. She said she was with you on Valentine's Day, and she said she knows you felt her presence on Valentine's Day. That was her with you on Valentine's Day. That was her with you on Valentine's Day. She says she gets more proud of you every day. She says, stay with your dream. Stay with your dream. Do not turn away from your dream. Stay on it. It's worthy. It's worthy. It's worthy. Wow. Someone's saying, will I be able to walk by the end of March due to my ankle injury? Yes, absolutely. I get a strong, exciting energy. In fact, if you want some guidance with that, let's do a little practice that you can take with you, okay? Every day, every moment you turn your attention to your ankle, tell your ankle these words. Speak and think these words to your ankle. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. These words. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. Every time your attention goes to your ankle, every time you even think of it, you are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. Those words, and think them and speak them as if they are truth, and make those words the truth. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. Do this right now to your ankle. Turn your attention to your ankle right now. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. Like, do that. Close your eyes. Go bring your awareness into your ankle. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. Bring all of your attention into your ankle. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. And every single moment you have the attention to give to your ankle, then communicate that to it, to the whole of it, to every bone in there, to every ligament, tendon, every cell that makes up that ankle. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. Go really deeply into that energy, because thoughts are energy, right? And speak it and think it and get deeply into the words. Get more. You are whole, you are perfect, I love you. Go deeper, more meaning, more energy into those words, and communicate them directly into the consciousness of the ankle, so the ankle receives that. And while you're at it, do that for your whole body. Do that for your whole body. You are whole, you are perfect, and I love you. Right? A lot of people try to do this when they abuse their body. I've had people come and say, I want to get rid of this weight, and I don't want to have to carry this around anymore. And I say, well, you have to change what you eat. You have to change what you drink. You have to exercise a little bit more. There's certain things that you have to do with the body to get it. You have to teach the body to change, because you taught the body to be this way. You have to teach the body to be a new way, right? That means you have to teach it differently, because the body won't do it by itself. The body likes what it feels, even if it's sometimes not good for it. You can take a bowl of antifreeze for a car and put it outside, and animals will drink it and die, because they like the taste, but they don't know that what's inside what they're eating is going to kill them. And a lot of people are eating foods that are actually killing them, and they don't know it, right? Because it tastes good. Do not let your body govern you, but you need to get into a place with your body where you love it and you enjoy it and you cherish it. But it means you also have to become the commander of it. But your ankle will be fine by the end of March. Again, those words are very important. Repeat them diligently, consistently, energetically, excitedly. Impart those words and the feeling of those words into your ankle. So the ankle and the consciousness in the ankle, all the different cells, hear you, because your cells are always listening to you. The cells in your body are always listening to you. The cells in my hand, if I say, hey, hand, close, all the cells are listening. Open, they're listening. They're waiting for the next thing, close, part way, all the way. The cells in your body are always listening and responding to you, right? Just as they're listening and responding to the food you give them, they're listening and responding to the words that you hear. So remember that, do that. Your ankle will be fine long before March. Long before March. Hi. Why do I have orbs all the time? Because you're starting to see spirit. Hi, Cindy. Listen, a lot of people are seeing phenomena. There are millions of angels here on the planet right now. Millions of them. Millions of interdimensional beings that are here. There are good beings and there are not so good beings that are on this planet. This is a time of awakening. It literally is a time of awakening. Really, like this is a time of awakening. The dimensions, the perceptions are becoming more obvious. So many of you are seeing orbs. Many of you are being sensed and seeing sequences of numbers and angels and guides. A lot of your spiritual senses are being elevated, just as your physical senses are also being overstimulated right now. But we've got these incoming energies from the sun, if you want to use that term, that's coming in from the sun, that are elevating or diminishing certain traits of emotion and thought that you have in your mind, right? So yeah, you're seeing orbs because you're beginning to see with your internal eye, because you're actually not seeing anything out there. Everything that you see happens in here. Because remember, your eyes take light waves, bring it into the physical brain through the sight center at the back of the brain, and the brain interprets that information internally. So the orbs that you're seeing are little spirits that you can connect to and communicate with. Just so you know that. You can actually sense or see one and tap into it and ask it to give you information. Again, sign up for our 101 masterclass on awakening and learn how to develop the process, the mechanisms for learning to hear and see with your inner eye, right? Your inner ear. So a lot of people are so attached to what they hear out here and see out here, they don't connect to what's inside. But many of you are awakening. In fact, I had a wonderful reading with somebody yesterday who had her awakening back in January. She had just an awakening. Suddenly his voice came in her head and said, Archangel Gabriel came to her and said, you are love and light. And she felt the truth of his words. And she said she was sprinting up and down the stairs, and for 3 days she was in absolute bliss. So a lot of people are being awakened right now. There are angels and there are lower vibrational beings. Both are competing for the attention of humanity right now. And you have a choice. And anyway, congratulations, you're starting to see them. Learn to communicate with them. You got about a week and a half to sign up for Masterclass 101 Awakening. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and get these skills and develop them so that you can begin to connect to and work with spirit. Drusilla is asking, when I was in the hospital last year, they tried to give me remdesivir. The third time the doctor left with his tail between his legs. Did I handle it right? Yes, you did. You basically told the lower vibrational beings that they cannot interact with you anymore. You said, enough, you have no authority over me. Remember, most medical doctors and nurses came into this world to be real healers. Most medical doctors and nurses came into this world to be healers. It's what drew them to the idea of health, that they could do things that make people feel better. And yet they got seduced into money and profit and using devices and mechanisms that are not improving health, either physically or mentally. And the evidence is obvious. Look around the planet right now. Mental health, physical health are degrading. They're not improving. And yet billions of dollars go to improving it, and yet it's getting worse. Does that make any sense to you? But most doctors and nurses by nature are healers, but they've been conditioned by the ways of what they've been taught to believe that healing is this and healing is that. But every doctor, every nurse, I believe, and I've been told, has the function of healing, the ability to actually heal people with their energy. They don't know how to do that, though, because they've been taught that giving needles and pills and drugs and cutting people open are the only ways that you can actually heal the body. And that's not an error on their part. That's simply what they've been taught. But by nature, doctors and nurses are natural healers. They just have not understood how that works. And certainly conventional medicine does not introduce doctors to the practice of healing with energy, healing with thought, understanding that thought and the body work in very specific ways with each other. But yeah, you did the right thing, Drusilla, because that doctor who tried to give you that, although he was trying to do what his soul wants, remember, everybody's doing what their soul's purpose is. A doctor really does want to heal you. A nurse really does want to heal you. They are healers, but they've been conditioned into a mechanism that does not function as a healing mechanism. It functions as a Band-Aid solution. It doesn't teach people. A healer will teach you how to heal your body, how to eat right, how to think right, how to walk right, how to talk right, how to play right. A healer teaches you to be a better version of yourself. They don't try to hide the problems that you're dealing with. Again, I'm not a medical doctor or a medical profession, but that's what my guides and angels have told me. But yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you. I'm told to tell you no, Brenda, that you won't be getting back with him. Something else is coming your way. You called for something else, and it's coming. You called forth a new relationship. Don't go back to holding on to the old one. You called it forth. Be open and receptive. Until you decide to let go of that, you can't receive what you asked for. You asked for something better. And the situation and circumstances have changed, so what you asked for better is coming. Don't go back. Stay connected with it. It'll come to you. It's on the way. Does my mom and dad still play favorites with us kids in heaven? No. No, they do not at all. Not at all. Most people, this conception of heaven is a shift in your consciousness. Some people actually raise in consciousness when they leave the body. Some people reincarnate into a lower experience of themselves. Again, the dominant emotional state that you're living with and leaving with determines what level of consciousness you're going to go to. Hell is a low vibrational state of fear. Heaven is a high vibrational state of love. That's why when people are making their transition from the body, you should always be encouraging them to go towards love, let go of their anger, let go of their fear, let it all go, right? But no, they don't do that anymore. Not at all. Is anyone coming through with a message for me? I'm being told there are many of you that are asking these questions today, and please understand that the messages that come out for other people are not just for those people. Many others of you will receive an answer that somebody else has asked the question. Because a lot of people, you're afraid to ask the question. A lot of people are afraid to ask the question. So part of life will ask the question for you. So that part gets their answer and you'll get yours. So be open and receptive that you are receiving the information that you've requested at this point of time and space. Yes, I will. Okay, I got about 2 minutes more here, guys. So for those of you then, again, you've got 1.5 weeks now to register for Masterclass 101 Awakening, which is an introductory course to mediumship, health, and well-being. It's what it is. It's about really learning about what your body needs and wants, changing what you eat, learning how to meditate, connecting to your guides, your angels, and other ascended masters that might be working with you. So you've got just about 1.5 weeks to register. I highly encourage you to do it sooner rather than later, right? I want to wish you all much love. I'll look forward to seeing all of you guys on the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. And until then, have yourselves a wonderful, a joyful day, and I will see you on Friday. Bye for now.